I am super excited that you are here. And today, what we are focusing on is breaking the spell that you are under in relation to the nature of your existence. Now, what we do during these tap and talks is we use EFT tapping, and this is all about real transformation in real time. That is the beauty of this technique, is that while you are tapping with me, you are experiencing somewhere in your subconscious a release. You are releasing the blocks, the fears, the doubts, the limiting beliefs. So I encourage you, every time you show up either live or you're watching the replay, I just can't express enough that I encourage you to do this technique. Now, if you are somewhere that is like you don't want to do the tapping like this, you can do it like this on the sides of the fingers, which you can do this anywhere. Nobody's going to notice. Nobody's going to care. And you can do that. And if your arms get tired, you can do that too. So, but I am going to do this while I talk to you and we go through releasing your attachment to the illusion that we are all living. We are all living in this very realistic illusion. And we've all been psyoped. Everything in our existence is a psyop. So we know this from quantum science, that everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. And the beauty of our existence is that we are the creator of our reality. It is our attention and our focus that creates our future experience. And it's conscious and unconscious. And this is why this work is so incredibly important. It's releasing our attachment to our belief of what we think is reality so that we can create something different. It's knowing and understanding that we are that we have the power to literally create any future that we desire. So it's really important that we pay attention and that we are aware and that we understand the nature of our reality. Just pardon me for a minute. I'm a bit hot. Just going to dab my face a bit because I am perspiring madly here. So why is this important? It's important because whatever you are experiencing that you don't want to experience, if you are frustrated with the life that you're living right now, then you have the power to change it. Like, believe it, it's true. You have the power to change it. You have the power to create a different future. And it's important that you recognize that everything that you are living is it's not based in truth. If you're struggling, it's based in a lie. If you're experiencing lack and scarcity, it's based in a lie. Lack and scarcity do not exist in the universe. We are born into a universe that is abundant, prosperous, loving, giving, infinite, limitless. That is the nature of our universe. The experience that you're having, if you're experiencing lack and scarcity, and if you're experiencing struggle, then it's because of the lies, the foundation of lies that you have in your unconscious. And this is where we have been led to believe, we've literally been indoctrinated to believe that we are powerless. Because there are ancient rulers of the cosmos that benefit from us believing that we are powerless. Because if we wake up and if we realize just how powerful we are, then the gig is up. The game is over. We are no longer slaves or enslaved to the system. Because it's like, you know what? I've been playing this role and I've been thinking that I'm powerless, but really, I'm the creator of my reality. Let that sink in. if you are the creator of your reality, what does that mean? Just think about that. Suspend all disbelief for just a minute. If you are the creator of your reality, what does that mean? In every context, what does that mean about your relationships? What does that mean about love? What does that mean about your ability to heal your body? What does that mean about your ability to create wealth beyond your wildest dreams? What does it mean about the dreams that you have been wishing for and not feeling like you have the ability to create them? What does that mean for all of that? So I want you to start tapping here and repeat after me. I choose to remember that I am the creator of my reality. I choose to realize that I've been living a lie my entire life. I choose to pay attention and be aware to the understanding that I am living in a psyop. I choose to know that this entire life that I'm living is an illusion. It's an illusion of my creation. It's like a hallucination on steroids. And even though it feels real, I choose to know that the future of my life is totally within my power to create a new future and a new reality. I choose to be open to releasing my belief in the psyop and the illusion. I am ready to see beyond the illusion. I am ready and open to see the true nature of my existence. I'm ready to understand and realize that I am an infinitely powerful being living in a world that is limitless. And I have limitless potential. And I release all attachment to the lies that I have been living by. I destroy, uncreate, and delete my investment in the lies that I've been living. I destroy, uncreate, and delete the beliefs that let me start that again. Let's go back. Can't edit this. I destroy, uncreate, and delete my belief that I am powerless. I destroy, uncreate, and delete my belief in the lies that I've been living. I destroy, uncreate, and delete my attachment to reality as I believe it to be. I destroy, uncreate, and delete my attachment to my reality as I believe it to be. I destroy, uncreate, and delete my belief in the lie. I destroy, uncreate, and delete believing that I am powerless. I choose to remember that I am an infinite being with infinite power and potential. I choose to remember that I am the creator of my life. I choose to remember that I have the power to create anything. I choose to know that this is all theater. I choose to know that this is all a psyop. I choose to know that none of this is real. And I choose to know I can create anything moving forward. And that's pretty exciting. So keep tapping. And that statement, this is all theater. It really is all theater. And yes, it feels real. And yes, this is theater with consequences. Our actions do have consequences in this theater, in this play that we are acting out. But once you recognize that this is the Matrix, like seriously, if you've never seen the movie The Matrix, this is the Matrix. Once you realize that, it changes everything. Because you can start to unplug yourself. And this technique, this tapping technique, it will help you to bring so much more awareness. It will help you to release your emotional attachment to your investment in the psyop. So all your fears, your doubts, your blocks, your limiting beliefs, they're not real. They feel real. They keep you stuck, but they're not real. They are your creation. They are a construct of choice that you chose. Think about that. Let that land. So if you think about the world in the perspective and you shift your perception, remember, everything is a story. Everything is perception. You change your perception, you change everything. And you can change your perception in a nanosecond. So you want to change your life, you start to change your perception. If we have a look at what's unfolding on the planet right now, and as I said, this theater, it has consequences. And there is very real experience of suffering and pain as we are acting this whole thing out. I'm not diminishing or well, I don't want to diminish that, okay? Because it can be very painful on this planet. But it depends on what you want to perpetuate. Do you want to perpetuate the pain? Do you want to perpetuate the struggle? Do you want to perpetuate the lack and scarcity? Do you want to perpetuate the same Groundhog Day that you've been experiencing, or are you ready to break the spell? Now, I'm serious when I ask you that question. Are you ready to break the spell? Because when you become unplugged from the matrix, the consequences are even higher because you're no longer able to say, well, this is out of my control. All of a sudden, you have to take full radical responsibility for everything because you recognize that you are the one who's creating the matrix. You're the one who's creating the matrix. You're creating all of it. Remember, quantum science, none of it really exists. It's all a holographic projection, baby. So once you unplug from the matrix, all of a sudden your level of responsibility goes up. Because you know that you have control over your experience in this holographic projection, in this theatrical play that we are all participating in. Now, there is also the conscious collective, and the conscious collective, as long as we continue our agreement to participate in this illusion, It will continue. And that is an agreement on a higher plane by the conscious collective that we're not done yet. We want to continue to play this out. We want to see where it goes. But here's where it gets really interesting. We have all this different conflict that's playing out on a macro scale and a micro scale. Now, why is that happening now? The upheaval. It's because consciousness is shifting. It's because there has been a darkness on this planet for a long, 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 long time. And that darkness is now splintering. It is losing control over the illusion. Yes, there is light and dark on the planet, and there is a spiritual war playing out. And darkness has been ruling, has been dominant within this theater, within this illusion. But the light is rising. And this is why we're seeing all this stuff come to the surface. This stuff that has been going on for centuries is now coming to the surface because it has to be brought to the light in order to be dissolved and resolved. This is like a time of resolving all of that dark stuff that's been playing out. And that's confronting. But if you get drawn into the drama of that, and if you're picking sides on any context, and remember that we all have this darkness within us, as within, so without. So we have this conflict, this constant internal conflict going on. So the internal conflict is represented in the external conflict. And this is why it's getting so intense right now. And the darkness is doing whatever it can to manipulate us to be at each other's throats. Because as long as we believe in the lie, so they're intensifying it because they want our attention. They get our attention through increasing the intensity of the theater. Like I said, it's theater with consequences. I am not denying the suffering and the pain that people experience as a consequence. Doesn't change the fact that it's still theater. And the internal conflict that we feel then amplifies out in the collective macro experience that we are living. So how do we resolve the external conflict? We reserve the internal conflict. This is what we are being called to do right now. We are being called to resolve our internal conflict as a conscious collective. And as long as we keep buying into this hype and this drama and getting drawn into these narratives that are being perpetuated by various players who are manipulating us, you're being played. We are all being played. It is all a psyop. There are psyops everywhere, everywhere. Stop buying into it. Stop buying into all this person and that person, and I hate this person, and this person's evil, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, there are dark forces on the planet, but stop buying into the psyop because they want your attention. The people who are perpetuating the psyop, they're doing it so they capture your attention so you don't recognize and realize just how powerful you are, so you don't resolve your internal conflict, so you stay stuck in the matrix. That's how this thing works. Seriously, that's how it works. So I observe what's going on, but I'm not emotionally attached to what's going on. I find it interesting, and I am very privileged to have been able to distance myself from it, and I have created my own world where none of that really impacts or affects me. And that's the power that you have. You either allow yourself to get drawn into the drama, or you create your world and your experience and you watch it play out and you increase your level of awareness, and everything that unfolds, you go, oh, that's interesting. You look at all the different perspectives and go, oh, well, that's an interesting take on that situation. But you don't get drawn into the drama. You resolve your internal conflict. Now, let's get a little more personal into your own world. If whatever you are experiencing, if you're experiencing a lack of love or a lack of abundance or a lack of health, then what are you buying into that is perpetuating that illusion? Keep saying it's all an illusion. And things like lack and um, your um, your health challenges, if you have them, and your relationship challenges, they are only there if you choose to continue to perpetuate them. So, what do you want to create instead? Pick something. What is something that you perceive a struggle with right now? Focus on that. Understand that that is an illusion of your own creation. Now, you could give me a gazillion different proof points to prove that none of it's an illusion, to prove that, but this is my reality. I am living this reality because of the bills that I have and that I have to pay, and because of losing my job, because I don't have enough income, because this happened and that happened, and whatever it might be. Step back, recognize it as something that you have created. Unconsciously, yes. There's no blame or shame here. You're living in a matrix and it seems so real. But if you want to change it, you have the power to change it. So when would now be a good time to decide to change it? The last tap and talk that I did, I was talking about what are you committed to? So you're either committed to perpetuating the illusion, or you're committed to breaking the spell. You're committed to taking your power back. You're committed to creating your future the way you want to live it. You're committed to living life on your terms. You're committed to getting uncomfortable, getting out of your comfort zone. You're committed to doing the work, or you're committed to staying stuck. What are you deciding to be committed to? It's your decision. You decide. And I don't just do this tapping thing because I want to look weird on camera for all the world to see. I do this tapping thing because this is transformation in real time. You are releasing, as I am talking my head off here right now and introducing you to concepts that I know that you've heard, but maybe you haven't fully embraced yet. But everything is a choice, everything is a decision. You choose to perpetuate the illusion and the lie. And make no mistake, the dark forces that have ruled this planet for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and have been the dominant force that has perpetuated a level of suffering and enslavement and disempowerment that is pretty despicable. It is. It's despicable. And I'm not quite sure why, as humans, we decided to go along with it, or as spirit having a human experience, we decided to go along with it. All I can think is that in order to remember who we truly are, we had to experience a level of disempowerment that was so painful that we had to be pushed to the point of, I refuse to live in this psyop any longer. I refuse to be at the mercy of the powers that be any longer. And it's taken thousands of years for us to get to this tipping point. There's also cosmic alignments, and there's more light pouring onto the planet now than ever before. It's all, the timing is spectacular. Like, you chose to be here at a most spectacular time in the history of humanity, in the history of our planet. It really is quite amazing being here on this planet at this time. but you get to choose what you will or will not participate in going forward. So if you have perceptions about the external world, maybe it's time to question those. Maybe it's time to question what you've been told. Question everything. Question everything. Because where I was going a few minutes ago is that these dark forces, they are freaking the intelligence, the level of intelligence. The dark forces know how to play this game. They are fully aware. They are fully aware of the game and they know how to play it and they know how to manipulate us. They have been figuring out the psychological frailties that we have for hundreds of years, and they have been playing us. And it is, I've been listening to mentalists. They're phenomenal people, mentalists. One in particular, Chase Hughes. Oh my God, if you have not listened to Chase Hughes, he is unbelievable. I'm actually just in the middle of listening to an interview where he's talking about he's actually been doing some really intense psychedelic journeys, and the potential for psychedelics um, under strict conditions, obviously, to be able to heal so much for us is unbelievable. Why do you think they've been made illegal? Now, clearly, they have the potential to do a lot of harm as well. So you can't just let that kind of thing, be out in the world for everybody to just experiment willy nilly. As I said, they need to be administered under strict conditions, which is what Chase Hughes does. But the reason Chase Hughes went down that road was he's sort of done the whole psychology thing. He's done neurology. He's sort of really known about the brain. And what is ironic is that he ended up, because of past history and experiences that he ended up with these debilitating brain seizures that were actually increasing over time. The medical establishment couldn't do anything with him. So he started taking methylene blue, which is incredible. Investigate that, methylene blue. And he started taking these psychedelics. It helped him to heal his brain, but it also helped him to experience these alternate realities, or what he now knows to be actual reality, as opposed to the reality that we're living right now. And this is what is so mind blowing when you start to wrap your head around this, when you start to understand that you have the ability to control your future. So decide from this point forward that whatever struggle or whatever you're experiencing that is not the reality that you want to live, decide to change it now, right freaking now, not another moment. And then put yourself in an sorry, let me start that again. Put yourself in the seat of observation. Become the observer. Observe what you perceive as reality and what you're participating in, and choose very deliberately what you will participate in from this point forward. Choose to understand that your attention, your focus, your emotional investment is what creates your future reality. So, what are you going to emotionally invest in from this point forward? What are you going to choose to believe from this point forward? Are you going to let go of the internal conflict? Because you can do that. I release my attachment to all my internal conflict right now. Are you tapping? I choose to release my emotional attachment to all my internal conflict right now. I choose to release all emotional attachment to all emotional conflict right now. I destroy, uncreate, and delete all my attachment to all my internal conflict right now. I choose to release all emotional attachment to all internal conflict right now. I decide to release all emotional attachment to all internal conflict right now. Do you feel that shift? Are you starting to even open up to the understanding of the nature of your reality and the consequence of what you believe, the consequence of what you pay attention to, the consequence of what you focus on from this point forward? Whatever you focus on, that is what you create. So, how are you going to shift your focus? How are you going to live your life differently? What are you going to emotionally invest your time, your effort, your energy, your brain power in? Okay, this has probably been a bit of a brain bender. I would love it if you would comment and let me know how this landed for you, whether it made any sense, if any little light bulbs went on for you, how you might feel different because you've been tapping with me the last 30 minutes. Well, I'm going to keep doing this every couple of days because I'm dedicated to and committed to helping you to understand the nature of who you truly are. Because once you recognize and realize that, it changes everything. So I love you loads. If you want my personal help with anything, by the way, you can always reach out to me. I will put my email address in the description below. And great. Glad you loved that, Sally. I'm glad you got some good stuff out of it. And I will see you in another Tap and Talk in a couple of days' time. I hope you can make it live. Ciao for now.